Right now, the words you're hearing were not designed by anyone. No committee sat down and invented English. It was stolen from invaders, broken by conquerors, rebuilt by poets, and spread by ships. In the next, you'll watch a language get born. Piece by piece, war by war. This is the true story of English. Long before England existed, before the word English meant anything, there was a single mother tongue, spoken by nomadic herders on the steppes of Eastern Europe around 6,000 years ago. Linguists call it Proto-Indo-European. It has no written record. We reconstructed it purely by comparing its descendants. As these herders migrated outward across Europe and Asia, their one language fractured into many. The ancestors of Latin, Greek, Sanskrit, Slavic tongues, and one branch that pushed north into what is now Germany, Denmark, and the Netherlands. That branch became Proto-Germanic. It gave us hard consonants, a love of compound words, and the ancestors of English words like water, house, and father. Linguists prove this family connection using something called the comparative method, lining up related words across languages and finding predictable sound patterns. The English word father lines up with the Latin pater, the Greek pater, and the Sanskrit pitter. Different costumes on the exact same ancient word. By the 5th century, 3 Germanic tribes on this northern coastline were about to make a decision that would change the world. The Angles, the Saxons, and the Jutes were preparing to cross the sea. In 449 AD, Germanic warbands began crossing the North Sea into Britain, a land the Romans had just abandoned. The native Celtic Britons fought back, but over the next 2 centuries, the newcomers pushed them into the western edges of the island: Wales, Cornwall, Scotland. The invaders called their new home Angleland, England, and their language English. This was Old English, guttural, heavily inflected, almost unrecognizable to us today. If you saw the opening of the epic poem Beowulf, written in this language, you would barely recognize a single word, but listen closely and the bones are there. Hus became house. Waiter became water. Signing became king. For the next 500 years, this rugged Germanic tongue would rule the island, until 2 new forces, one holy and one violent, arrived to reshape it. In 597 AD, a monk named Augustine landed in Kent, sent by the Pope to convert the Anglo-Saxons to Christianity. With the new religion came a flood of Latin words tied to faith, learning, and daily ritual: church, priest, school, candle, monk. Monasteries became the island's first centers of writing and record keeping. 2 centuries later, King Alfred the Great of Wessex fought off renewed Viking assaults and did something just as important for the language. He ordered key Latin texts translated into English and pushed his own West Saxon dialect as a standard for writing. For the first time, English had a government behind it. In 793 AD, Norse raiders struck the monastery of Lindisfarne, and for the next 200 years, Viking ships haunted the English coast. But the Vikings didn't just raid, they settled. Across northern and eastern England, Old Norse speakers lived side by side with Old English speakers, and the 2 closely related languages began to merge. This collision gave English some of its most essential words: sky, skin, window, they, them, their. Even the verb to be was reshaped by Norse grammar. When 2 similar languages collide under pressure, something remarkable happens. They simplify. Speakers drop the confusing endings and irregular forms that trip up outsiders and keep only what's easy to understand. English began shedding its complicated grammar, trading precision for flexibility. It was becoming leaner, more adaptable, and it wasn't finished yet. And that's a wrap for part 1. Stay tuned for part 2. I'll see you in the next video.